Alright, so hello guys. I want to apologize for the lack of videos. It's been, like I said, I've been very busy with other things. But I wanted to go ahead and make this video. So we have this problem here. Solve the absolute value inequality. So we have -3 times the absolute value of the quantity x minus 2 over 5 plus 1 is greater than 0. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to rewrite the problem. So give me 1 second. Okay, so here we have the problem, and the first step, so I always like to write down my steps here. Number 1 is to subtract 1 on both sides. So we always, basically our goal here is to get x by itself. You know, in algebra we always do that. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and let me draw this line here so that I can kind of separate. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. So -1, -1. The reason why I'm writing it like that is because there's a big absolute value symbol like that. And so this obviously cancels out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down. So I have -3 times absolute value of x minus 2 over 5, and then is greater than -1. So here we have that. And then my next step, since I have a -3 on the left side, or on the outside of the absolute value, I need to get rid of that. So my next step is going to be to divide. And let me actually color code so that way you guys know. By -3 on both sides, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, I do want to make a really quick note, and this is a reminder that we must change inequality symbol. So anytime we do this, since it's by a negative, we have to flip that over. So basically we're going to end up with the absolute value of x minus 2 over 5 is less than 1/3. So that is basically the flipping over of this absolute value symbol, right? So I'm gonna change this word to flip, so you guys kind of understand what I'm talking about. Okay, and then anytime, so this last step that I want to mention, let me do it in blue here. So the third step is to do basically so if absolute value of A is less than C, then A is less than C, or A is greater than -C. Basically, we're going to use this rule. So number 3 would be to use the following rule, or the following property. So doing so, we're going to have, this is going to give us two things. X minus 2 over 5 is less than 1/3, or x minus 2 over 5 is greater than -1/3. So now we're going to solve both of these for x. So now the last step would be to solve both of these for x. And so doing that, we are going to go ahead and get rid of my 5 here. So I'm going to try to, and let me actually separate my work here. So when I do that, these two cancel out. And let me actually rewrite it. Okay, so like I said, these cancel out. And I'm doing this one first. So then I end up with x minus 2 is less than 5/3. And the other thing I am going to go ahead and do, if I do not like doing fractions, I'm going to multiply by 3 so that way I'm not dealing with fractions here. But notice that we need to do distributive properties. So 3x minus 6 is less than 5. And then finally add 6 to both sides. We get 3x less than 11. Divide by 3, we get x is less than 11/3. So that is one of my answers. And then the other answer, so the other one that we were going to do was x minus 2 over 5 is greater than negative 5/3. So this is the other one that we're working with. So again, we're going to try to do the same thing here, times 5. And so this kind of cancels out here, x minus 2 greater than negative 5. Negative 25 over 3. Excuse me. You can add 2 to both sides here. I didn't do it on right over here because I took a different approach, but you can do that as long as you know how to add, fractions well. So I can do that here. X is greater than, and it's going to be negative 25 over 3 plus 2 over 1. If I get the common denominator, I'm going to get the following. X is greater than negative 25 over 3 plus 6 over 3. So that is basically how that is done. And finally, we're just going to have x is greater than, it's going to be negative 19 over 3. And so these are my two answers that I have. So one of them is like, it's going to go negative 19 over 3 less than x less than 11 over 3. Since you always do since it looks like this, you're always going to do it as an interval. So basically from here, in interval notation, it's going to be as negative 19 over 3, comma 11 over 3. So, I mean, we have to understand how intervals work in order to do this. If y'all have questions about that, that is a whole nother topic, but we have to understand how intervals work in order to know how to do this. But yes, this is the main idea of absolute value inequalities. You just use this primary rule here that, you have to remember we have to remember that rule, right? So that is going to be it for this video, guys. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, please let me know. And also, please like, comment, and or subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.